Hi, I'm Margaret Morris-Calderon, and I am residing in Arkansas, Madison County, just outside of the Ozarks, the outskirts, in the hills. And I am living in a red state and having to deal with state employees and county employees are almost impossible to deal with. They're racist, they're prejudiced, and they discriminate against American Hispanics. Arkansas has no Hispanic employees in state employment. They're not in public service. They're not in the environment control offices. They're not in anything, DHS, nothing. And they are all frontline black people who hang up on me and do not care, like they are irreplaceable, like they can do no wrong, because if they're there, then that the state is classified as not prejudiced. And in fact, it is, because I am a Morris-Calderon by blood name, not by marriage. I am biracial, Hispanic, white, and they continually discriminate against me in government affairs with government funds. I am disability, 65 years old, single, living alone, no earned income. After working over 25 years of employment, I qualify for utility assistance in LIHEAP Program, and that's government funded. And I filled out the application that I had to request. It wasn't automatically mailed to me like normally, because I'm in the system for being disability since 2009. So I had to ask for my application in July the 28th, 2025. And then the OHC in Rogers, who handles the public service for the LIHEAP program for my county, sent me an application on the 30th of July. So it was mailed back from me on August the 6th. I filled it out on the 5th, and checked off the box behind it in my electric payment, with the billing showing me behind in my electric payment with my ID, everything. There was no issues with lack of identification or anything like that. With the process of my application, after they did not contact me for a period of time, weeks, I called and asked about it. They said that they were not going to process my application as crisis, and that's immediate action that they give help in. And they said that they had called my utility company and confirmed, after I filled my application out, that I paid $40 to keep my utility on from being shut off. So they are practicing that. They want my utilities shut off before I can be approved in crisis. This is what they're practicing with me. This is how I'm being treated here. And so I'm still behind, because I paid the minimal from the month before that I was behind in. And now I had a shut-off notice for August, that because I'm still behind from paying the rest of my July payment that was due on the 19th. So they sent me a notice saying that they were going to shut my utilities off on the 28th of August. And I had $43 to my name in my wallet, and I had to go down to the utility company, the Carroll Electric, to pay my utilities, because they would not make a process of a pledge or crisis. And I had to do this on empty. I'm going to show you my gas gauge right now. Right now I'm going to show you my gas gauge. There's my gas gauge. It's on empty. I have no gas because I had to use my gas money and my food money to keep my utilities from being shut off. I told the Rogers office employees, which are black frontline employees, and the white ladies are the ones in charge, that I qualified for a crisis because I had, my application was showed that I was behind in my payment, and they said they weren't going to give it to me. And so I said, I want to appeal. And so I sent an appeal form and my copy of my application to the Arkansas Environmental Quality Department to have it investigated. They didn't do anything. They didn't send me anything of acknowledgement, no appeal number. I mailed that on August the 20th. Didn't hear from them. So today, August the 27th, 2025, I asked, what's going on with my appeal? I'm in crisis. My electric is going to be shut off, and I need help. And there's no pledge or anything to my account for money. They ignore me. The front line people are all black women. They hang up. They send my calls to a voicemail with the name Pennington, which she did used to be a service person to the public and answer her calls and return calls like 5 years ago, but she hasn't in years. I've had ongoing issues with the Rogers office discriminating against me for government funds for LIHEAP. I have multiple complaints of appeals filed at the Arkansas Environmental Quality Department and Utilities for LIHEAP operations. This is not like a first-time thing. This is an ongoing problem. And I hate to say this, but it's true, because there's no diversity in Arkansas's state employees. It's all white and black, and the black women are the frontline people, and they don't care. They behave like they're they behave irresponsible, intentional neglect, like they are irreplaceable. Like, because they're employed, that Arkansas cannot be filed against in discrimination when they are discriminating against me as a Hispanic, white, biracial person. They discriminate against Hispanic people. They don't have any employees that are Hispanic at all, that are American Hispanics in Arkansas's employment operations with public or anywhere else. So I'm going to make a complaint with the Federal Bureau about that, because I had to drive to go put my last $43 that I needed for gas money and food to keep my electric on. And after I finally get a message into the supervisor in the Arkansas Environmental Quality Department for Energy and LIHEAP, they are expecting me to have my electric turned off first before I can qualify for crisis. And that is a violation of policies, it's a violation of federal law, and it's a violation of the American Disability Act in allowing me to have crisis funds in this situation. They don't care. They want to try to weasel their way out for not doing anything. They're saying, well, you paid the minimum before they shut it off. And I said, well, now you're telling me that I have to have my utilities shut off first before I qualify for crisis. So you're sitting there waiting for my utilities to be shut off before I can have what the government allows me to have by law. That's how Arkansas works with Hispanic people, Americans. And that's what's happening to me. And I notified the governor's office, I notified Tom Cotton's office, and I called federal attorney's offices, and they had a voicemail for Fort Smith, and I got a phone call back. I'm trying to pull it up. A phone call back from Fort Smith, and I got a call back, and they said the federal attorneys told me at Fort Smith that 479-226-6707, that they only assist criminals in defense cases and federal defense cases, that they are not going to take a disability person, a senior citizen who is being discriminated government funds in utility assistance because I'm not a federal criminal. So I get discriminated against by the federal attorney's office because I'm not a federal criminal, because they don't want to take a pro bono or anything like that to protect me in Arkansas. That's how Arkansas works.